Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. Also, my mom's going to be popping in a little bit later on in this video with her guest reviews this week. I got a small stack of stuff here to talk to you guys about today, but some really awesome stuff here to talk to you guys about. But before I get started with it, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoy my videos whatsoever. Drop a comment down below letting me know how you guys are all doing, and give me some suggestions on some videos you would like to see me do in the future, like out and about kind of stuff, like places you would like to see me go. Let me know down below in the comments. But let's get started with it here. First off, from Scream Factory is a decent horror anthology film that I've never seen before until I got this Blu-ray, and this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Deadtime Stories. This is a horror anthology film that came out back in 1986. It's about this young boy who's staying over at his uncle's house or something like that, or his uncle's watching him, and he's just having a hard time going to sleep. So his uncle decides to tell him some stories to help this little boy go to sleep. And the stories that he tells him are three different horror stories. Three different horror stories. And one of the first horror story he tells the young boy is about these two witches that live in the woods that I guess got this other young boy from slavery or something like that, and is having that guy do all weird sorts of things in the woods. And then there's like the second story, which has to do with like a Little Red Riding Hood and their evil wolf, which was, I'm not gonna lie, probably my favorite one of the bunch here, just because there's like there's this one guy right in the small town. He's going into this drugstore and he's trying to get his medicine so he can get knocked out and go to sleep for hours and hours and hours and stuff. Because if he doesn't, when the moon comes up in the morning, he's gonna turn into a werewolf and go all crazy. But yet he's in this drugstore to try to get this medicine from the guy, from the doctor, the pharmacist, and the prescription gets changed. His medicine gets given to this young, beautiful woman that's dressed in red, like Little Red Riding Hood, and he gets her medicine, and it's pretty much the werewolf guy trying to get his medicine back before nightfall. And I thought that one was actually really kind of cool. And the other one is like what's it called? Goldilocks and the Three Bears, kind of story, which was kind of okay. But the only story I really liked in here was the second one in this horror anthology. I thought it was kind of cool. But I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen this one before, and it was just kind of mediocre. It wasn't like, Creepshow status or anything like that, because Creepshow is the all-time favorite horror anthology film ever. This one is totally watchable. It's just not something I see myself rewatching over and over again. But on this Blu-ray right here, we get an all-new high-def transfer from the original camera negative. You get some interviews in here from Melissa Leo, who is a big superstar now, and one of the other actors. And you also get audio commentary by the director. I just want you guys all know it's out now on Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I didn't like it that much, but the second story was badass. And next up over here, guys, from Vestron Video is their new collector's edition of probably one of my top 20 horror films of all time, and that is The Gate. This is, of course, the new Blu-ray edition. And if you guys don't know this film, it's about these two young friends named Terry and Glenn who live in the suburbs, just living suburban life and things, until one day they're just messing around in their backyard and they come across these special kind of rocks. And they're like, wait, we want more of these rocks. And they start digging up their yard and everything like that. And they open up a gate to hell, where these little creature minions, come out and start wreaking havoc, and it's pretty much them trying to take out these little creatures and get them back into the gate and all that kind of stuff. This movie is still badass to this day. It came out back in 1986, just like Deadtime Stories did, and this movie is just actually kind of cool. And it also spawned the sequel, which I really wish came in like a double pack, with like The Gate and The Gate 2, just like how Vestron Video put out Waxwork and Waxwork 2, on the same disc and everything. I wish I wish they did that with this release here. But on this Blu-ray of The Gate, We get a audio commentary track by the director, the writer, and the special effects artist. We get new, interviews in here with the special effects artists and things. And we also get all the original special features that came on the super special edition or whatever it was of The Gate on DVD, like the, making of featurettes, the trailers, the teasers, the behind the scenes photo galleries, and all that kind of stuff is all still on this Blu-ray right here. So if you're a fan of The Gate and you want to know if the picture quality is good, is it worth upgrading? I gotta say yes. I thought it looked fantastic here on Blu-ray. One of my, like I said, one of my top 20 favorite horror movies of all time. I just hope they release The Gate too, man. And I'm really super excited about that whole Wishmaster box set that Restaurant Video and Lionsgate are going to be putting out. And it's like the whole set together, all 5 films, which is going to be amazing. And this next up over here is from Lionsgate also. And it's one of those films that's being nominated for all these Golden Globes and most likely is going to be winning some Oscars this Oscar season. And this is a film I missed in the theater, and I'm really happy I got it here on Blu-ray, and it's called Moonlight. This is, of course, says it's, a certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes here on the cover, and it's about this young boy named Chiron. This movie takes place in like 3 different parts. About this young boy named Chiron when he's a little boy, and then when he's like a teenager, and then when he's an adult. And I found this movie to be just absolutely fantastic because Chiron, he doesn't have a father. His father is not in the picture anymore. He lives with his mother. His mother is a drug addict and things. And Chiron becomes friends with this local drug dealer in town, and it just follows his journey from adolescence into boyhood into manhood in this film. But yet in the the area that he lives in, it's kind of hard to express himself the way he wants to. You know what I mean? Because he's just coming to find himself and trying to figure out what he wants in life and how he's gonna, come out of his shell, so to speak. I don't want to ruin this movie for you, but it was absolutely wonderfully shot and wonderfully directed. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the movie Boyhood that came out years ago. It kind of has that same kind of, like feel to it, sort of, not really, but kind of. If you watch this movie in Boyhood, you'll sort of see the similarities between the two. But it's just a fantastically acted film. Get it when you guys get a chance and see it on Blu-ray. This Blu-ray has an audio commentary track by the director, a making of featurette on here, and just a handful of featurettes on here talking about the film. Absolutely amazing.
Hi, I'm back just with a few things to show you. The first movie I have is called Loving, and this is about a interracial marriage between a white man and a black woman, and this was done back in 1958 in the state of Virginia. This is about basically, the different troubles and legal things they went through, because what happened was they got married, and the county of Virginia that they were in, it apparently was interracial marriage was illegal, so they were both put in jail, and they were able to get out of jail with a lawyer telling them that this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to plead guilty, and you're going to have to leave the county or the state, for a term of 25 years. And they like, what? This is our home. This is where we've lived all our life type of thing. But other things happen. I don't want to tell you the whole movie. If you're interested in all court cases, this was a Supreme Court case called Loving versus Virginia, because it got to the Supreme Court, mainly due to the fact that the black woman in the movie and in real life had written to Robert Kennedy regarding her situation, and he put her in touch with lawyers from the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, and they encouraged them to, take their case all the way to the Supreme Court. I won't tell you how the case turns out, because then again, that's another reason why I don't watch the movie. You already know, okay? But I liked it because I sort of knew a little bit about it from, an indexing thing I was doing a year or so ago. But the movie, how I usually like most things I'm talking to you about. Oh yeah, it's great, pick it up. I did. It was interesting to me, but it didn't come off quite with enough punch or enough action, I guess. It was all just sort of even keel. I thought there should have been more angst or whatever for it or during it, more power, to be more powerful, I guess. But I mean, I liked it, and if you're interested in court cases and that type of thing, you know, pick it up. And it was very well acted. I liked the actors in it, all of them really. So, you know, give it a chance if you want to. And this one, of course, you know me and my episodic television. Okay, this one is called Grace and Frankie, starring Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. This is the second season. I did not see the first season, which I realize is probably a sin. However, my daughter had seen the first season and kind of just, you know, gave me a brief overview of the situation. Oh, man. You don't even have to, I mean, I'm going to go back and watch the first season, but, I mean, this is the funniest thing ever. I mean, on some of my favorites, this is a real favorite. I mean, Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, come on. Plus the two, okay, what it's about is that these two women, their husbands work together, I believe in the same company and so forth, and they fell in love and had affairs and so forth. The two wives knew nothing about, and I guess they finally one day let their wives know that, you know, they can't resist each other any longer, and they're moving in together. Well, of course, it throws these guys in a tizzy. What? I had no idea, because they have kids and, you know, everything else. Well, the two husbands are played by Sam Waterston and Martin Sheen. Oh, my God. All I know Sam Waterston from is, you know, Law and Order. So it was so cool for me to see him in a comedy. Oh, my God. And, of course, Martin Sheen is funny anyway. So the four of them is, I mean, it's just hysterical. Just the different things that happen and who's got to take care of what and who's gotten hurt by this. And, you know, I know it doesn't sound really like a premise for a comedy, but it really is. Pick it up, watch it. It's so hysterical. And the last one I have, I didn't realize, I guess, till I put it in. It's called The Men's Club. Apparently, it just came out, but I guess it was filmed in around 1986, and it stars Harvey Keitel, Roy Scheider, Frank Langella, with Treat Williams. I mean, really great names, you know, in film. And it's called The Men's Club. And it's about men who want to start a men's club. Like they go to this one guy's house all the time, and they just, you know, sit around and talk and whatnot. And one night it just gets out of hand, and things happen. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell you. You know how there's period pieces, you know, like Victorian era or the Tudor era or that kind of thing. To me, there's certain sections in the 1980s where, to me, it's sort of stylized. I don't know how to explain it correctly, but stylized acting, in a sense. It's hard to say, but you know, I've seen all these actors in really good roles, and this particular film just seemed like, I don't know, it was stilted or tried to, you know, 80s stylistic. It's hard for me to explain. I don't know if anybody understands me, but, you know, I watched it for a while, and I don't know how far into it I really got, but it was not interesting. It just, you know, kind of moves sort of slowish. Like, I really wish I could explain to you what I mean by 80s stylistic. You know what, you know, but like you're watching the 1950s film or a 1960s TV show, there's a, you know, a certain style to it that's no longer on television. You know, things change style. But I was really kind of disappointed because it looked like it could have been a good movie. It just wasn't for me. I'll see you next time.
And next up over here from Universal is a film that stars Haley Steinfeld and Woody Harrelson, and that is The Edge of 17. And Haley Steinfeld, hopefully I'm saying her last name right, you know, plays this young woman, this young girl, who something tragic happens to at the beginning of this movie. And, you know, she's just dealing with adolescence and boys, liking boys and, you know, not liking the way she looks with pimples and zits and, you know, like braces and, you know, what have you. And, it, you know, it just, you know, follows her life in high school, she has this one best friend, and her brother's like the most popular guy in school, and she's just like, Jesus, why does everybody get to be so happy, and why do I have to be the one girl that goes into the teacher's classroom during lunchtime to have my lunch away from everybody else, kind of movie. This movie feels like a movie that I believe John Hughes could have made, if he was still around today. It kind of has that same kind of like writing and tone to it, in my opinion. But Woody Harrelson as the teacher was amazing in this movie, man. I've always been a big fan of Woody Harrelson ever since the TV show Cheers, and he just really knocked it out of the park in here. So did Haley. Just great performances all around. But at the same time, I don't think it's also not the best coming of age movie I've ever seen or anything like that. It's not one of those ones that it's gonna change your life or anything like that. Like how when I watched like The Breakfast Club for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is amazing. This movie might be the Breakfast Club of this generation of the young kids that are watching. But like to me, it was good, but it just doesn't have that same oomph as Breakfast Club did for me when I was growing up. But on this Blu-ray right here, you get a gag reel and some deleted scenes. So I just want you guys all know, Edge of 17, out now on Blu-ray and DVD. And next up over here from Universal also is a film I wanted to see and I wanted to get on Tuesday. And Universal was kind enough to send it on over for me to talk about. And it stars a whole bunch of people on here. It stars Monique, Danny Glover on here, and Gabrielle Union. And that is Almost Christmas. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack right here. And this one right here is about Danny Glover's character who, at the beginning of this film, loses his wife. Him and his wife had, a handful of kids, over the years, and his wife just passes away. And now, Christmas is coming again, and this could be the first Christmas he's going to be celebrating without his wife. And now all of his kids and family are coming over to visit him. It's all their first time, first Christmas without their mother. And it's just, them dealing with the situation and, the dysfunction, between the different family members and different things. Like one of the family members is running for senator. One of the family members is an ex-basketball player. And another one's like a football star on the rise and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, like a family, a movie of just them trying to get together and, deal with their issues and things. But of course, there's, funny moments along the way, with Monique and different characters of the film. I found this movie to be, a nice family Christmas movie, but it's at some parts in the movie were just kind of droll, kind of dull. It's kind of like, okay, move along a little bit. Come on. It was like, it kind of felt like there was just too many characters and too many things the movie is trying to focus on to like, I don't know, make us care about everybody. It's just like focus in on Danny Glover and one or two other people that you need to focus in on, and the movie could have been a lot better. It was just kind of sort of mediocre, but it had some nice heart and comedy, nice funny moments in it. But it definitely wasn't as good as I thought it could have been. Funny, but that's Almost Christmas here on Blu-ray. I liked it for what it was. It just could have been better. And next up over here from Warner Brothers is a new 4K Ultra HD version of Arrival. This film right here is something I really wanted to see when it came to theaters. It stars, of course, Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forest Whitaker. And this movie is pretty much about aliens coming down to Earth and just like sort of hanging out, in their ships, just hovering, close down by the Earth. And it's all about, the government trying to figure out, why are they here? What's going on? So they send Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner's character, who I believe are linguists, people that can understand different languages and things, and send them in, to talk to these aliens to figure out why they're here. And this movie was actually kind of really cool. The third act of the film really kind of, of course, ties everything together, and I don't want to ruin it for you. But like the performances in here by Jeremy Renner and Forest Whitaker, just everyone across the board was really good in here. Just like the cinematography of this film really kind of blew me away. Like when you see the shots of like the ships and of the spaceships and things, and was it spaceships or UFOs? I don't even know what you would call those things that you saw. Kind of like seeing some of those ships in here kind of reminded me of watching what's called Flight of the Navigator back in the day. I was waiting for that one character guy to come out and be like, hey, like the the little glass eye guy start talking. I don't know. I was just waiting for that to come out, but it's not that kind of movie. But I thought this movie was actually really well done, and on 4K it looks absolutely amazing with the color palette of this film. It really did work nicely. On this Blu-ray right here, of course you get your making of special featurettes on here, interviews with the cast and crew, and making of and stuff. But if you haven't seen Arrival before, highly recommend it, especially if you like science fiction movies. I think you guys will get a kick out of this one. And last, but definitely not least, for this update today, is from Paramount Home Entertainment, and this is what's it called? Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead, the complete collection here on DVD. But I gotta say, this is not the complete collection everyone, all the super fans want. This is all the rest of the volumes, like Mike Judge Volume 1 to Volume 4, all in one set here, including the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie, in this set right here. So you get all those in here, but it's not the complete collection. You're missing a lot of the music videos and the way Beavis and Butthead would talk over the music videos in seasons 1, through 3 up in here. But it's cool. I already have the complete series on like a bootleg DVD that I got, at a convention a long time ago, like Comic-Con or whatever. But if you guys, want the best quality of Beavis and Butthead that you could possibly get, and you can get them right here on DVD. This is probably my favorite MTV show ever, about these two nitwit guys, best friends, Beavis, Butthead, and they're just messing around doing crazy stuff. I absolutely love this show. I watched it religiously when it was on television. My sister and I loved it. We always just come on, Julio, and I would do this kind of thing, Danny, take me for my bunghole. I don't know. It's probably one of the best MTV shows ever. I am not gonna lie, but I just want to let you guys all know that it's not exactly the complete collection. It's just all the other volumes that came out before that Paramount put out, all put in one set together, including, of course, season 4. But I just wanted to let you guys all know you get Beavis and Butthead, the collection here on DVD. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys all later.